Welcome, everybody. Good day, and thank you for joining this session. I'm Alina Marm from Zikovac, and it's my honor to take the next roughly 50 minutes to explore a little bit how businesses can move to action for a circular packaging system and why it is so relevant that we move away from flying solo to soaring together. Let me quickly start and say who Zikovac is. I'm 100% confident that all of you already had our products in your hands. We produce inks and coatings, especially for packaging, and we're one of the world leaders. So you will know us, even though if it's not by name. We're also a global company with a long-standing family tradition. And we're more than that. We are a company that very proactively took on the journey to drive and reinforce the sustainable packaging system. And today, I also want to share a little bit about our journey because it's a quite recent one and it's one that I've personally learned a lot from that I would like to share in the broader community. I will also touch base on a few more general aspects around collaboration when it comes to business action for circular economy. As Zikovac, we started our journey in 2019, really analyzing the space and finding our positioning all the way to the point that we made circular economy part of our business strategy. And this year, taking it even further by driving and implementing a new, broader sustainable business agenda, where, of course, circular economy is a key driver, but we've also expanded it by aspects of climate action and diversity, for example. So let me dive right into collaboration or to the path to action, sorry. It all starts with analysis. I think this is almost like due diligence. And it's really essential because if you do it right, it leads to understanding. And you can focus on sort of two broad aspects. What is the opportunity in the circular economy space? And also, which responsibility do I carry as a company when I think about ocean leakage, but also waste leakage in general? For Zikovac, as an inks and coatings company, the opportunity that we really saw is that our products and planned product innovations really address a performance gap that comes to play when we move from non-circular to circular packaging. Just think about the move from plastic to paper, for example, to recyclable paper. I think it becomes evident that you have to do more to the packaging to make it function in, for example, a food environment. But also, what was really interesting is that we saw that something as maybe basic as inks and coatings can really be a pathway to new circular business models. And with this, closing gaps in the packaging, circular economy packaging space. On the other hand, there really was the responsibility. So if you have inks and coatings on a packaging, especially inks, it will decrease the quality of the recycled material. And also, we are on packaging, so we are part of the leakage problem with all the negative effects that we know of today. Back in 2019, we were still very much at the beginning as an industry to understand circular economy and the data behind it. This has changed dramatically, and it's prime time to analyze. So, as a company, if you haven't moved to action yet, or there's still some gaps, hit it now. It's fantastic. So, what we have now, we have much more modeling, data modeling about how do plastic streams move? And also, what are the most important intervention strategies? If I look, for example, at breaking the plastic wave, or also a lot of hot spotting that is happening on a regional level. We're also now moving into a time where we not only model, but really look at the practical, actual flows of plastic. And this is incredibly insightful because we now understand how plastic, in its longevity, really moves through our system. So there's a lot of science out there, and this report that I just showed summarizes it perfectly. And summarizing is essential. Just in 2021, Roughly 800 hits show up on Web of Science if you search for plastic and ocean alone. And also, from a really pure business perspective, more and more is available. Recida, as an example for assessing the recyclability of your packaging, or Plastic IQ, where you get data on your entire plastic packaging portfolio. In all this, there is a risk of getting drowned or stuck in analysis, so don't paralyze. Learning that I want to share here is create action focus in the analysis. Think about what is important to you as a company to understand. For Zikovac, it was really understanding our responsibility and really the solutions that are out there and how beneficial they really are. Think about biodegradable packaging, for example. And also looking at what makes the stakeholders move to action. And for us, this was creating business cases around circular economy, not high flying business revolutionizing cases, but showing that there's merit in following your responsibility. The other thing that I really want to highlight here as a learning is make an analysis collaborative. It will help you not to paralyze because you're not going to be stuck in a room analyzing, but you're going to be interacting. And with it, you're already creating buy-in for the implementation. And collaboration in the implementation is really essential because it has a lot of powers. I'll only touch on two aspects today. First of all, it can really tackle the chicken and egg problem of system innovation. System innovation is tough, but system innovation is also what we need. So collaboration can really come in here. The other thing is collaboration. If we come together as a group, it inspires and holds accountable. I'll give two examples for each of, or one example for each of those. Starting with the system innovation, and I'll pick out flexible packaging, because this is really one, as we all know, that is the most challenging to address in collection because there's not enough incentive. So in areas where we don't have formalized waste management or underdeveloped formalized waste management, it's not collected at all. It just litters. And even if it is collected, so we're in a more formalized system, often it's just sorted out and incinerated or landfilled because there's not enough value to recycle. And some flexible packaging gets really lucky and is actually recycled. Here, the issue then is that usually low quality recyclates are produced for many reasons. You have laminates in there that need adhesives. You, of course, have the colors, and you have sort of food soilage that also makes it difficult. So we really have to innovate collectively to create that incentive, to create that value for collection. One lever for that value creation is de-inking. De-inking or delamination, if you have a laminate, is basically a process step that you add to the mechanical recycling process that we have today. It's hot washing with a detergent mix. So you might say, well, easy, then let's go ahead and do it. But as mentioned, this is a system intervention and it needs system innovation and action. Starting with the packaging design and conversion, we have to move to monoplastics, and also we have to make sure that the ink and, for example, the adhesives can actually be taken off in this hot washing process. So we need product innovation here around de-inking and delamination primers, for example. Then, of course, these packaging structures that are de-inkable have to be identifiable as value levers to be collected. And same holds true for sorting. Great things are happening here as well. If you think about, for example, digital watermarks and the work that Holy Grail 2.0 is doing around it. I mentioned the actual process step of de-inking. And here it's, of course, the investment that has to be done. Always a hurdle in the recycling space where margins are low. But also we still have to find out what is the environmental and economic sweet spot of the temperature of the hot washing process, but also the mix of detergents. And of course, we need an open space to use these high quality recyclates that often come in a quality that you see on this picture. And there are plenty of increased use case opportunities. So why does it need collaboration here? It probably already becomes evident. If you look at packaging design and conversion, we need brand owners to be willing to move their packaging. We need converters and raw material suppliers like Zikovac to offer solutions. And also on sort of the consumer and brand owner space, the willingness to pay a little bit more for a solution that will not be cost competitive in the beginning because of scale issues. Then, if we think about the investments I already mentioned, that recyclers have to invest in the mechanical recycling process. But also, if we then think about the actual use case, we need legal frameworks that allow us to use these high quality recyclates in, for example, cosmetic applications or close to or new to food applications. So if we act together, and a lot is happening here, it is a good thing, we can actually solve the chicken and egg problem. At Zikovac, we're looking, of course, at the de-inking and delamination primer, but we're also looking at the process steps and collaborating with value chain partners really to build this case for de-inking. The other example I want to bring is on a less technical level, so rest assured. And it's more on how we come together as different actors. And I just want to share a little story. A few weeks ago, I was walking across the campus in London at UCL, so University College London, and two students were walking behind me, and suddenly I heard one saying, "I'm thinking about becoming a full-time activist." And this really touched me and stayed with me. First of all, I don't think somebody would have said that sentence in a uni campus a few years ago, maybe ditching a high paying career, but also because it made me think about how important activism is for us as businesses. To give you a bit of perspective on that, activism holds up a mirror. It avoids hiding spots that businesses sometimes tend to move into because they have economic pressure, because it's the way you've always been doing things. The other important part is that if you're a change maker in a company, activism really gives you that tailwind because activism leads to policy change, activism leads to a different perspective in the broader society. So it is key. And also personally, it makes you avoid those hiding spots. And collaboration, no matter if it's on a technical level or on the broader society level, including activists, for example, in our business perspectives, is fun if you have a learning mindset. The amount we've learned at Zikovac just in the past 2 years, from co-developing products to initiative work on driving system innovation, has been immense. And there's a lot that we still have to learn. So I'm very happy that our collaborative learning journey is not done yet. And it's really not done yet because we still have a lot to tackle. We've done a lot of damage. This is my hand just going through the ocean in Mexico, picking up pieces in a few seconds. Also, sometimes we fail, even if we try really hard, buying packaging free produce, but then this happens at the checkout in the US. And also to scale. We have to give 500,000 people access to waste management every day by 2040 to make sure that ocean leakage doesn't increase. So it's a tough job, but it's a fun job. And if we combine toughness and fun, we will have the power to persevere. Personally, I'm looking forward to collaborating with you. The first step is reaching out. Please do so on social media or the other media channels we have available. Thank you very much.